Most anglers think fish are picky. They're not. They're just reacting to what your fly is actually doing underwater. I've interviewed more Team USA competitors than just about anyone out there, and what I've learned is that the biggest difference isn't the fly they use, but it's how they control depth, speed, and movement. And today you're going to discover those secrets straight from the best of the best. I'm breaking down the top 8 mistakes most everyone makes in fly fishing and how to do it differently, just like the pros. But before we get into it, I want to share the winner from the last video here at Suribas. That's at Seribas, Nick. You are the winner of Wet Fly Swing Pro this week. This is our membership with a masterclass. We've got a bunch of masterclasses in there from some of the best out there, speakers around the country. If you want to get access this week, what you need to do right now is just subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment of your biggest tip or takeaway from today or just in general in fly fishing, and you get a chance at winning Wet Fly Swing Pro. And this is exciting because we're going for 4,000 subscribers. Help us get there today if you subscribe. And after that, we're going to 4 million. And right now, I want to let you know this video comes directly from the best podcast episodes of the Wet Fly Swing podcast in 2025. And this one specifically comes from number 37 of the Yellowstone Teton Territory Traveled podcast series we're doing. If you want to listen to it, you can listen to Chris Smith right now, and I will show you exactly how to do that. Let's take a look right here. The easiest way to do that right now is to go wetflyswing.com. And if you click up here in the header, you will see these podcasts, and you can click right here under Traveled, and that'll open up the episodes, and we'll go to 37 right there. You can click on that, and you can listen to this full episode, which is an amazing one with Chris. He's from Team USA. He's done everything in between, and he breaks it down right here. All you have to do is go right here, press play on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or right here in the blog, and you got it. All right, let's get back into it. All right, now that we know where you can take it further, let's get into it. The top 8 mistakes most anglers make and how to do it differently. We're starting from the top, number 8. Here's the number 8 mistake. Most anglers obsess over the fly. We've all heard it, right? Getting the right fly, matching the hatch. But Team USA pros actually don't obsess over this. They really focus on, instead of getting the exact pattern, they focus on depth, drift, and speed before the pattern. So small tweaks can outperform constant re-rigging. So remember that: depth, drift, and speed. Presentation consistently beats the exact imitation all the time. All right, number 7. Most anglers stop the drift too soon. This is a critical one that Chris mentioned in this podcast, where it's not just a simple dead drift. Many strikes actually happen at the end of the drift. So swinging up that imitating fly can imitate an emerging insect. Euro nymphs double as wet flies as well. So skipping the swing leaves a ton of fish uncaught at the end. So we want to be diverse in the swing. That's number 7. Number 6, most anglers dead drift every cast. I just mentioned this a bit ago, but Team USA pros test movement differently. Perfect drifts don't always trigger strike. Jigging can provoke eats, so remember, jigging the fly is important. Pulling flies can outperform drifting, and movement reveals fish behavior fast. So remember, this is not just a dead drift all the time going down, however you're doing it. Remember, you put action into it, put life to that insect. So here's the number 5, is most anglers experiment at random, right? Just putting on some random flies, some random whatever. Team USA pros start with confidence flies. So this is very important. We've heard a lot of these confidence flies, but there's just a few, probably a few you need. And normal anglers, like I said, experiment at randomly. Pros begin with flies they trust everywhere. And you can go back to our past podcasts and hear the pros. Usually there's a half a dozen flies that are their confidence flies, and that's what they're using. It removes the hesitation under pressure. So instead of fiddling through your box, which I do a lot, and trying to find that exact pattern or mixing it up every second, stick with a fly and fish it differently, and this will increase your decision-making process as you go. All right, just a reminder, this is going to be a quick one. Like, follow, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment to get a chance to win Wet Fly Swing Pro this week. This is worth almost $300 in value, and your chance to get inside and get a massive list of master classes with some of the best out there. All right, back into it. Number 4, this is the mistake most anglers make, is that most anglers add weight too fast. So you think, right, got to get down, let's put more weight on. Team USA pros actually adjust rod angle first. This is a critical one. So don't just start with putting more weight on. Adding weight is the slowest depth fix, actually. And what Chris says is rod angle can change depth immediately. So depending, a tuck cast can drive flies down without re-rigging. So that's it. So remember, rod angle is important. All right, number 3, we're getting down there. Most anglers cast short and safe. Here's something we don't think about. Team USA pros use distance as a depth tool. So longer casts actually sink the fly drift naturally. Depth increases as flies travel back. Distance replaces weight in clear water, and reach isn't about distance, it's about control. So remember that. We're not always fishing right up close, although that's obviously important, but covering the water and fishing out a little bit further, it can be very effective. All right, number 2 is revolving around dry fly fishing, and that most anglers make the cast at the rise. You see a rising fish, you cast at it, and that's not right. Team USA pros actually cast at the feeding lane. So what they're thinking about is most anglers, are throwing their fly at the splash, but pros watch multiple rises before ever making a cast. The rise shows the position, the current shows the direction. So you can actually tell what position, where that fish is feeding. Leading the fish creates a longer natural drift. So again, we're trying to lead the fly to get down to that natural drift on the fish. And the number one mistake to avoid that most anglers make is that fishing the same good water all the time, thinking this is good water today, it's going to be good water tomorrow, it's going to be good water next week. And that's not true. What Chris says in this was a revelation, is that Team USA pros reevaluate what he calls A, B, and C water constantly. So he mentions this, and it depends on how fish move with pressure. So the A water might be the A water in the morning, but as more people get on the water now, that's not A water anymore, and that changes. So you got to go to B and C water. And hatches shift where fish hold. Fast water can suddenly become prime. So all this can change, right? So that A water might change throughout the day. And yesterday's best water often goes dead depending on where you're fishing. All right, that's it. We got out of here really quick. Conclusion for today. If you want to get more access, go to wetflyswing.com. And like we said, subscribe and follow this channel, and you'll get the next one. We're doing a new series, if you haven't seen it, Tying in Hand, and we're going to have some more of those coming out here. If you want to see and make a comment on how to tie flies in hand and why I'm doing it, find out, subscribe, and you'll check it out. All right, that's all we got. Appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one.